Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lainey. Thank you so much for stopping by. In today's video, I'm going to be doing my first update to the Project Level Up Project Pan. So if you're interested in seeing that, then just keep on watching. Before I get into that though, if you're new here, please remember to hit that subscribe button and let's hop into the video. Alright, so about a month or so ago, I decided to restart the Project Level Up Project Pan. It's one I started, I believe, at the beginning of this year, maybe end of last year. It's a project created by Sofie Alexandra. I will link her channel down below, as well as all the information you need to know about this Project Pan. I started it, and then I was kind of off of YouTube for a pretty long time, but now I'm back. And I decided to restart the Project Level Up Project Pan, which is where you take a palette, and if you're on level 1, you typically are trying to use all of the shades once and hit one pan. If you're on level 2, or use every shade twice, hit 2 pans, and so on. Some people are adapting it to their needs, but that's the general essence of the project. In the intro, I rolled in the Menagerie Feral palette, which is one of my favorite palettes, and I was really excited to work on it, and now it is time for an update. So again, this is the Feral palette. This is just beautiful. It's just a beautiful palette. I love the artwork. And then when you open it, you have a mirror, and this is what the palette is looking like now. And I can tell you that I have used every shade at least once, as well as hit pan. I will make a note that this shade right here, Heuchera, that I hit pan technically when I did the swatches for the video. So I decided not to count that as my pan. But why don't we just go through all the shades and I'll tell you how many times I've used it. So this blue shade, that's Harmonia, I used that twice. Wolfling, I used that 3 times. Canis Lupus, I used that 9 times in total, and as you can see, I have the tiniest pan, which I am counting. So that is the shadow I met my goal on. Alpha already had pan when I rolled it into this project, and I used it 3 times. Pack Leader, I used once. This purple is Allium, and I used that once. Mariposa, I used that once. Night Eyes, I used that once. Wisteria down here, I used that once. This green shade Fenris, I used 4 times. The dark green Ivy, I used once. And then Heuchera, I used once. So as you can tell, I used all the shades at least once, and I hit pan on 1 shade. And so I can officially roll this palette out of the project and roll something new in. So one thing I did between my intro and this update is I did go through my Tiny Decisions app, and I updated the wheel to have only palettes that do not have any pan in it. So this palette did already have pan in it. Going forward, I mean, it wouldn't be eligible because I rolled it into this project already, but going forward, it wouldn't count. Any of my other palettes that already have pan wouldn't count. I made sure to add any new palettes that were missing to this, as well as I check out maybe 1 or 2 palettes I just didn't want to roll into this project. The only one I can think of is my Pat McGrath palette. I'm just not interested in trying to hit those pans because I know it would take a really long time. I think that's the only one, but there might have been one other one that I can't think of right now. So going forward, I will only be rolling in palettes that don't have pan in them, just because I want to have more palettes with pan, and I can roll those into my pan. Those shadows, which will be coming back in probably the first 2 weeks of January. So let's roll in my new palette, and let's see what we get. Ooh, okay, so this is the Lethal Cosmetics Evergreen palette. So I'm gonna grab that and I'll be right back. Okay, I am back, and I rolled in the Lethal Cosmetics Evergreen palette. This was their 2022 Black Friday release. And I actually just recently took all of my Lethal Cosmetics palettes. Previously, they were depotted and in my singles collection, and I actually just put them all back into their designated palette. So this was one I actually just added to the Tiny Decisions app because it wasn't there before. And I, first off, love the outer packaging. And then when you open it up, you have the mirror, and then this is the palette. I think it is such a stunning color story. It is absolutely beautiful, and I am so excited that this was rolled in. So in this palette, we have Flutter, Profusion, Scarab, Herbivore, Biome, Retreat, Arboreal, Fauna, Nightless, Mycelium, Hydrosphere, and Wilderness. So some really pretty colors, and I think I'll have some fun just playing around with this palette. So I'm excited to work on this. I'm not sure what the shades I'm going to try to hit pan on, probably the shimmers, but I'll try and aim for a matte as well. We'll see what happens. So since this is level 2, I have to use all of the shades twice and hit 2 pans. Alright, so before we wrap this video up, I just want to go over, I only have 3 looks to share with you today that I used with the Ethereal palette if you're interested. So this first one is kind of a neutral, everyday look. This is using Canis Lupus and Alpha with Wolfling on the lid. I think I did this look a couple times. It was just like an easy breezy look where I could use that Canis Lupus shade to try and hit pan on it. So that was a nice, just neutral everyday look. This one was a nice green look, kind of one of my go-to looks regardless of the palette I'm using. When I'm using yellows and greens, I kind of do this kind of look a lot. That was with Night Eyes in the crease, Fenris and Ivy in the outer V, and then that Hooker shade all over the lid. So this one was a little bit more of a fun look. I had, looking at my notes, Harmonia on the inner lid. Then I had Allium kind of like on the outer crease, Alpha on the V, and then I had actually Sprinkle Whips from Davina all over the lid. And yeah, those are my 3 looks. I will try to take as many pictures as possible with the Evergreen palette to show you. And yeah, I think that's going to be my update. I hope you enjoyed, and I'm excited to see all the palettes that I get to work on in this project going into 2024. So yeah, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!